Hi, my name is McClintock and I'm here to introduce to you birding in Portugal, a week's birding at Birding in Portugal, and we run that from my own EcoLodge, pretty well totally solar powered EcoLodge called Paradise in Portugal. You can check us up on TripAdvisor if you want. Anyway, you'd probably fly into Faro or Lisbon. We can pick you up from either airport. Faro is the closest, it's the easiest, cheapest to get to us from there, and we can pick you up from there, or you can get your own hire car, or you can get on the train and come up and we'll pick you up from the station. There's various different ways of getting here, and if we pick you up from the airport from Faro, we'll have you birding within about 10 minutes of you getting off through customs. It's very close, and it's salt pans and marshland, a little deciduous woodland, sandy salt dunes, sandy dunes. Then the species we get down there, probably purple swamp hen, Eurasian spoonbill, greater flamingo, little bittern, escaped cage birds, weavers, black-headed weavers. If you come into Lisbon, it's a little bit further before we get you birding, but we'd have purple heron and stuff like that. And I know I should be smiling in this, but it's very difficult when I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm trying to say to you. So then after we've been birding for a bit, then we'd go to various different sites, and then we'd drive up to what we call the Quinta, which is Paradise in Portugal. And at the Quinta, we'd be arriving there, if you got in the morning, we'd be arriving there mid-afternoon, and enough time to unpack and settle in before a delicious meal cooked by my wife Daniela, who also does shiatsu massages, and then to bed. We get up fairly early, but on the first morning we'd probably do a local walk so that we get our eyes in and we all meet each other, get to know everyone's idiosyncrasies. And the local walk consists of about 10 minutes away from the Quinta, low intensity farmland, cork oak woodland, just mooching about really. You normally get about 37 species on a couple of hours. Serins, Iberian azure-winged magpie, black-cap warbler, subalpine warbler, Dartford warbler, Sardinian warbler, Iberian chiffchaff, melodious warbler, lots of little stuff like that. Spotless starlings, might have both shrikes, the woodchat shrike and the Iberian grey shrike. And then we might go on to one of our hides. We've got a lovely hide overlooking a slow running river. It's so slow running that it actually looks like a stream or a pond actually. And there's reeds there, and we have otters there, we have common kingfisher, and it's the best place in the world I've ever known to see Chetty's warbler and little water owl, because they come out into the open there. Okay, so then the rest of that afternoon, we come back for lunch, and then we go on to have the rest of the afternoon off. You can go swimming, we've got boats, we've got a sauna, those both included in your stay. We've got a yoga shala, that's included in your stay as well. So you can, enjoy yourself, or you can just go out for a walk in amongst the bush behind us. We're very isolated, so nearest neighbour's over a mile away. So there's no traffic noise, there's no passing traffic. You can't hear planes or trains or automobiles or anything. It's fantastic. It's very nice. Common nightingale in the garden. Eurasian golden orioles nesting in the garden. You might hear one in the background. He's singing at the moment. So we have about 3 pairs of those nesting in the garden. And then dinner again. The next day we'd probably go to, say, the plains, the Alentejo, which is a whole day trip. We get up early. It's about an hour's drive to the start, and we get to the start at sunrise as the sun starts coming up. And then we get Great Bustard, Little Bustard, Montague's Harrier, Spanish Imperial Eagle, Black Vulture, Eurasian Black Vulture, Griffon Vulture, Stone Curlew, Little Ringed Plover on the lakes, Collared Praticole. There's a wealth of stuff out there. It's fantastic countryside. Next day, we probably have another long day. This is a single stop holiday, by the way, so you're always coming back to the Quinta every night, so it's very nice and easy. You don't have to pack and unpack all the time. Next day we might go up to the Lagoa Sant'Andrea, which is, again, it's about an hour and a quarter away from us, and then work our way back down the coast, down the Costa Vicentina till we get back to the Quinta again. And on that we get Savvy's Warbler, Greater Flamingo, Osprey, things like that. It's very good for water birds. Might get booted eagle, short-toed eagle, things like that. And then the next day might have a day off, go for another local walk maybe, go to another local area, and then the day after that we might go down to Foia, which is the highest mountain in southern Portugal, which is quite high. That in the background is a plain because we've got a small fire about 20 miles away. So they take water off our lake to get the fires out. Anyway, we go up to Foia, which is the top of the mountain, and then we've got blue rock thrush up there, woodlark, Iberian green woodpecker, rock bunting, things like that. Before dropping down the other side of the coast at Sagres, where we get white stork, peregrine falcon, red-billed chough, little bustard, all kinds of stuff like that. And then back to the Quinta again, and then the next day probably another local walk, and then the next day we would go down to Faro again for your flight out. So very easy. All the travel is done for you if you come with us. If you opt to come with us, you're very welcome to go on your own, of course. We'll tell you where to go, what species you'll get where. That's no problem at all. A lot of people come for 2 weeks, and then I take them out one time, and then they go out to the same place on their own next time. I've got to say we can cater with pretty well any diet you throw at us. Vegan, vegetarian, absolutely no trouble at all. And the last thing is that because we're photographers, we've always got a camera slung around our neck. And so whenever we're taking people out, we're taking photographs. And those photos we give to you for your personal use when you leave. So even if you're not a photographer, you'll have a photo record of the species you've seen while you're with us. But if you are a photographer, we can share with you our tips and tricks of how to get the best shots. And of course, because you're coming with us as your guides, you're not going to waste all that money getting to a country and then be 200 meters from the bird you've been looking for. Anyway, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this little film. I hope it's been informative. Please just get in contact with us if you've got any questions at all. We're always willing to answer your questions. And we look forward to seeing you down here. Ciao.